Exploring the Paranormal Perspective. Exploring the Paranormal Perspective.
You're supposed to say the lines.
Oh, is it? I gotta say that?
Yes.
Public service announcement. The views and opinions are the opinions.
Fuck that bullshit. They are my opinions and my guests, no one else's. Remember, this show ain't for chitlins' ears, so listening discretion and viewing discretion is advised. This is a paranormal horror crime show, so the scenes and the sounds can be a little terrifying to those little ears and those little eyeballs. And of course, there's obviously cussing. I mean, it's me. Also, please don't do anything that these stupid ass people do in this video or this podcast. This is for entertainment purposes and for you guys to listen with your ears, consume the knowledge. And now, time for the show.
Exploring the Paranormal Perspective.
Wow. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. Right?
We're
What's
gonna
up,
lead
Maddie?
this podcast.
How we doing? I love technology.
All right. Oh, okay, there it is. What's up, everybody? It's Sean with Exploring the Paranormal Perspective, Founder of G.E.E.K.S
Never
Paranormal, or
works
you
when you want it to.
just call right? Definitely, all the time. Oh, wait, you can't
now.
hear me
I
now,
can see
can
you
you?
talking, but I can't hear you.
I'm working on it. Not that one. Now can you hear me? No? Can you hear me?
Ah, there we go. I can hear you now.
Yay! All right. All right. Technical difficulties. It's my middle name. What's up, everybody? I
Mm.
have a wonderful guest on the show today. At least he understood. Jason, thank you so much for coming on the show today. I am super stoked to ask you all these questions and delve into your brain. How are you?
Oh, awesome, man. Just enjoying the weekend.
Right? It's been a beautiful weekend too, hasn't it?
It has, finally.
Finally, right? My daughter wanted to go to the lake yesterday. I was like, baby, it's a little still too cold for that. We'll go next weekend.
Yeah.
But
There's that, and the water being up high.
right, especially when it's been nothing but 60s or 50s, the water is going to be freezing.
Right.
All right, Jason. So tell us a little bit about your journey into the world of paranormal investigation. What sparked your interest in it?
Yeah. So I'm the founder of Not Terry Collective. I don't know if you can see my banner behind me. But if not, there's a little better picture of my logo on our card. But yeah, so we've been doing this officially since 2018. Myself and my partner, Rosie Page, we've been all over the country, some of the most haunted locations in the country. A lot of stuff locally, a lot of stuff, people reaching out to us for help and things like that. So, we pay a lot of attention to that stuff. But I've always had the interest in the paranormal growing up. Had some experiences that were kind of crazy, couldn't explain. So once I got older, it really was always there. So I pursued it, especially after my mother died in 2018.
Oh,
I was like, thank you, but you know, it just really kind of hit. You live once. You might as well do what you want to do as best you can. So I just dove headfirst into that 100%, and then it's kind of evolved in this, uh, you know, big thing. Basically, we have a quite a bit of a huge following from our social media platforms, Facebook, TikTok, that kind of stuff, and then you know, having different experiences really led me into my book ideas and things like that, and my book getting out there and everything. So yeah, I mean that's just a little bit about me. So uh,
what kind of unique investigation
yeah,
techniques do you employ during your paranormal explorations? Like, can you walk us through some of your typical investigations?
sure. I think it starts with the history of a place, whether it's a more of a well-known place, kind of like Waverly Hills might be, versus somebody's house where they're experiencing things. But we do the research first. We do the history and that kind of thing. My partner, she really does kind of handle all that kind of stuff. But when we get to the location, we do sort of a walk through and walk around, get a feel for it. Whether we're going to be there a day or maybe a couple of days or something, but we kind of want to know where we're getting feelings at, and hit and misses on things as far as that kind of stuff. My partner is also a medium, so uh,
Oh,
what's cool about that is that when she experiences things, I can back it up using our equipment, and that's pretty cool if it comes together,
yeah.
and then really gives us those answers that something's there.
Oh,
Um, you know,
it shows the
and then
validity of
we
her
use those.
too.
Right, and it does, and it's pretty cool. She's pretty gifted. It's kind of scary sometimes to me because I'm not into that. I mean, I'm not. I don't pick up on things like that like she does. She gets all that and all the emotional attacks and everything
Yeah,
like that, and I get a bunch of the physical stuff, like when we're at places like clothes being pulled, or I might get scratched or things thrown at me, it's stuff like that. But
yeah,
um, I don't experience the emotional attacks, and that really takes more of a toll on someone.
yeah.
Like when you hear like the paranormal hangover, that stuff's real. I mean, it's really you're draining the next day or so. Especially her. It doesn't take me long to recover, but her takes her a couple days.
Yeah, I didn't believe a lot of the sorry, the cat is jumped behind me. I had to make sure it was the cat. I didn't believe a lot about the paranormal hangover until it started really happening to me. I mean, it drains you whenever you have so much energy and stuff that you're going into this investigation on. It can really give you one heck of a hangover.
Yeah, it really does. And then, the next day I just kind of want to, since we're just so immersed in our investigations that day or so, the next, the day after we're traveling back or whatever we're doing, and I just want to wind down and relax the next day or
Yeah.
so. But like her, I may not hear from her for a couple, 3 days, but
Oh my gosh, I bet.
um, it just
So
depends on the location. Sometimes it's not that bad.
do you think maybe researching before you go out to a location does any kind of mess with your mind or anything? Like you expect something to happen? Because I know a
Uh,
lot of
you
people
know,
sit there and don't do it until after the investigation because they don't want to be. So
right,
you're.
and that's
Go ahead.
well, it's just going into like any kind of situation. You want to be the most you can be well armed with your knowledge or whatever kind of the stories are around the place. You want to be armed as much as you can with that. Just like if you're a cop in a situation, you want to make sure you have the bullets. For you never know.
Yeah.
So it's the
Oh,
kind of the same
protection.
thing.
Exactly. I get
Uh,
you.
it's kind of the same deal. We just want to make sure that it's done right, done as safest way possible. And it does not mean that we're running into like demonic activity or anything like that, but
Right.
um, you know, you just want to just be prepared as well as you can be, and then spirits as well as that they do what they want on their own time. So
Oh yeah.
you can't go into a place and expect them to interact with you. And then sometimes it's the complete opposite. Sometimes it's just nonstop stuff happening. But I mean, for the most part, what I explain to people kind of like how it really is versus what's happening on TV is
Hmm.
that we're sitting in the dark talking to ourselves most of the time. I mean, really, it doesn't. It's
We
not
sound like
happening.
crazy folks.
Things are flying up the wall or anything like that. It ain't that kind of stuff. I mean, do we get those kind of stuff happen sometimes, but it's not continuously like TV makes it.
Well, this is probably a good segue to go into telling us about some of your most frightening encounters during an investigation and what happened. How did you handle it?
Well, yeah, there's definitely been a few. It's I mentioned Waverly Hills earlier, so kind of go with that one for right now. I was at Waverly Hills and we were doing an investigation and Hills is so massive. If anybody's ever been there, and they know how big the building really is. Um, you can be on one part of the building and then other people be on the other part. You're not gonna get contamination from you're not gonna get
Yeah.
all kinds of noise or anything. So we were able to conduct a legit paranormal investigation while we were there and certain parts of the building. And I ran into what they call the creeper. So
Sorry, that was
the
my husband.
creeper was that's cool.
The creeper?
It's funny. Yeah, they call him the creeper. It's a big shadow figure. He's been seen there multiple times over the years.
Oh my god, and you
And when I
actually
saw
saw
him,
it?
he was about I'd say estimate like 9, 10 feet tall, something like that.
Oh my gosh.
But he was we were doing an investigation in one room and then staring out in the hallway into another room. Well, and across the hallway in that room, he was standing in the doorway, kind of looking back at us. So, uh, and me just, I, it's kind of crazy because I'm not necessarily scared of those kind of things. So, I jumped up and bolted like right towards where he was, right there. I was like, man, this
It's
is
like, oh
awesome.
my god.
So, yeah, so, and then,
I need your
when I,
autograph.
yeah, when I got there, I mean, he was gone, and we saw other shadow figures the duration we were there. We saw them over time, but nothing like that. And that was to hear about it and actually see it. It was kind of cool. And then,
So it wasn't really necessarily giving you an evil, I'm gonna get you kind of feel. It was more like a, oh my God, this is happening.
yeah, for me it was, I don't run out of the room screaming or anything like that when I experience things. Like, to me, it's exciting. I want it to
Yeah.
continue. So I know that might sound crazy sometimes, but
That's me. I
that's
do it too. We'll be
yeah,
crazy together.
well, that's just how I am with it. I want to experience it, And do I want the negative things along with some of that stuff? No, but if it happens, it is part of it. But
Right.
that going into things.
Yep.
This stuff can happen. And then we were at the Haunted Hill House in Mineral, Texas, and
I still have not gone there. I would love to
uh,
though.
it's pretty cool. It was kind of intense when we were there.
Ooh.
There was had a couple experiences. I don't know. I'm not going to call it demonic, but they call the entity that's there Toby, and
Yeah.
apparently that's the demon that resides there. Um, I got a picture somewhere. I got like a where he came up behind me. He was right behind me.
Oh my gosh.
It's like a distorted face, just kind of this dark room and standing there. I felt weird, but I didn't hear anything at that time. And then we were up in the attic where his space is apparently, and then heard some hissing, and then that was interesting. And then
Dang.
somebody got bit, so
He
that
bit
was cool.
him?
He bit somebody. What was
Rude.
interesting about that is where the bite mark was. It's cool because she was all freaking out, and she should be. It's
Mm.
crazy. So we all kind of go outside and collect ourselves, and we're shining flashlights on where this happened at on her body, and then you can actually see the bite marks actually forming. So it was forming then. Like it was
So it was
initially like
biting her while y'all were videoing.
yeah, like I don't know if it was continuously happening at that time, but from when it happened to as far as like man pain, then
Yep.
run out, and then
The
we're looking, and
adrenaline.
then you could actually see it form, and then
Oh
that
my
was
God.
pretty cool, but
That is
scary
cool.
it can be, yeah,
Yeah.
and, you know,
Well,
and
anything like
then
that is
we
scary.
yeah we take after every investigation, no matter if it's residential or somewhere like that, we do a protection prayer and everything afterwards. So, and do anointing oil and stuff. My partner does some stuff for us, but
Smart.
yeah, we try to take as much precautions as we can at their location. Does stuff still follow us home sometimes? I know there's something still here in my house, but nothing evil.
Right.
I don't know what it is, but it's annoying sometimes, but it doesn't bother me.
My son says the same thing about what's in our house. Like, my light will come on and mom, it's annoying. Can you do something about it? I'm like, I don't want to do anything about
Right.
it. Just enjoy it. You're getting to experience something not everybody gets to experience. He goes, but it's creepy. I can't see them.
Yeah, mine is noises, and then for whatever reason, it has some kind of fascination with my towel that I hang over my shower, and then I'll put my towel. Yeah, it'll yank it down every
Oh
time.
my
I don't know,
God.
it's crazy.
Stop yanking it. I need that towel.
I know. Yeah,
No.
it's just stuff like that. Nothing crazy. Nothing I'm worried about or scared about or anything. But
Ah, well, that's cool. So you've never been, say, like spooked so bad that you run? Not well. You say you don't run, but you kind of like, I gotta walk out for a minute.
no, after something intense happens, my thing is my adrenaline gets so much, so I want it to happen again. So I'll stay there for a little bit. I had a big piece of glass thrown at me, hit me in the shoulder one time.
Oh
We were at
God.
the haunted asylum in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. We were down there, and then yeah, it flew across the room, hit me in the shoulder, bounced off. I mean, I don't know. I mean, just lucky it hit me in the shoulder. Could easily hit me in the face, but
Oh my God.
uh,
Yeah, we didn't want
yeah,
glass to
everybody.
hit in the face.
No, no, no. Everybody was kind of freaking out, and then I was so excited. I wanted it to happen again, so I stayed there for another 10, 20 minutes, but it didn't happen again. So. But
It's like,
yeah, I mean, there's a couple reasons. One, we don't run out of places because we already know that stuff. Going into it, we're there. We're
Yes.
there for a reason. Two is a safety thing too. It's because running when it's pitch black and you don't really know the area, you don't know what you're gonna run into or fall or anything
Exactly.
like that. So, yeah.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. So, how do you kind of differentiate between like a genuine supernatural occurrence and a possible explanation, rational explanation?
Well, yeah, we do different things depending on the situation because every situation is different and what people are claiming. So we do try to go in and debunk things for sure. But I mean, we'll give them the time. We'll give them the time. We'll do like an overnight or something like that. And sometimes it is just to ease their fear or worry. Um, that they had these people come in that we have all this fancy gear and stuff that we can detect some things or whatever. But this again, it goes back to um, even if we're there and we don't pick up anything whatsoever, it doesn't mean the place isn't haunted. It's just that means that spirit, they're just not gonna reveal themselves no matter what.
Right.
And it's on their own time. We don't provoke anybody, so we don't do that. We don't believe in it. But um, when we're at a place, well, we do the typical, can you make a noise for us or that kind of thing, or do it the SS method. It's one of our featured things we do. People like to see us do, and then try to get as much out of a place as we can. But again, it's um, when we're going to a location, especially a well-known location, they get groups in there every weekend, ask them to do the same shit, same same thing. Can you knock on a wall? Can move this or whatever,
Yeah.
And spirits are just. I just picture them in my mind sitting there going, here comes these assholes again. They were just here
Right.
last weekend, same different group, the same kind of people want us to, do the song and dance because they want us to, kind of deal. But
Yeah.
what people don't realize or remember sometimes is these spirits were people. So,
Yep.
you know, you got to treat them with respect and just as you would just having a natural conversation. Um,
Exactly. You're gonna get more out of it.
so actually, we do. We find it that we do. Sometimes, like you and I sit here talking now, and then say we're doing that at 3 o'clock in the morning somewhere, and then all of a sudden we're hearing stuff or doors move or whatever.
Yep.
They just it happens when we're not paying attention to them really, um, and we can just be BSing about whatever, and then they're like,
Yep.
okay, I guess I'll do something because these people are being cool. I'll be cool.
Y'all need to pay attention to me. I
But
want to answer your question, or I want to talk to you about what you're saying.
yeah, it is that way. And then sometimes there's other places where we go into that they can't wait to speak with us because sometimes they've just been balled up for so long that
Oh,
they've had all this stuff to say. And then when they try to communicate it, it just comes out at the same time, just crazy because they don't know how to do it.
yep.
So it is kind of coaching them what we want them to do so that we can understand them better. And then sometimes I understand the frustration where they do get frustrated and they'll throw something or whatever and be like, this
Yep.
is bullshit. So, but
Fucking listen to me. Damn.
I don't know, yeah,
Rewind your
and it is. I
recorder.
mean, it's that way. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, for sure. So it is that way, and then we try to be cool with them. They be cool with us, and then sometimes you run into people uh, as his spirits who are assholes, and then they're asshole in life, they're gonna be asshole in death. It doesn't
Yep.
change,
Nope.
because they have the same personality. They have the same personality, so they did. So
Yep.
we run into that a lot. People just assholes, but
Now, have
uh,
you ever been to a
you know,
location more than once where they recognize you?
yeah, for sure. We have, and then they seem to also open up a little more each time. Um, we find that uh, kids' spirits are like that a lot, especially with my partner. They like to communicate with her a lot, and then she gets down on their level and kind of just talks to them like you would any other little kid, and then learns their name and like what they like. We bring stuff back each time, that kind of thing, and then we've had a recurring thing with a little kid named Joshua. He's at the uh, uh, Boonville Sanitarium in Boonville, Arkansas. Oh, tuberculosis sanitarium. and his spirit is there, and then he communicates with us every time we're there. So it's pretty cool.
And where's the sanitarium at?
In Boonville, Arkansas.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. There's so many places in Arkansas that I want to go that I have not gone yet. And I'm super stoked because I do have one coming up, and I was very honored to be asked to go. So I'm looking forward to that one. But what are some common misconceptions about paranormal investigations that you'd like to clarify?
Well, I kind of mentioned it a little bit earlier. Is that
Mm,
it's kind of us versus people on TV.
yeah.
Now, what people don't understand is these guys they make it look like all this stuff's happening all the time, and then those things they do happen, but they're also there at a location for 2 weeks at a time or more, so filming, and so they edit the video and make it look all these things are happening, and yeah, they
Yeah.
do, but not in an hour's time. It don't happen that way.
No.
Um, so versus us versus them, and then we're friends with a lot of those guys. And the thing about it is, they're just, they got I'm not saying they're not talented or anything like that, but they got lucky and they're on TV and they got the break. And then it does happen. It keeps happening to some of us, but the thing about it is that you want to keep it real as possible if you can. But the problem is sometimes those guys are fighting with producers and networks, and they got to make it entertaining somewhat because it is a show.
Yeah.
Um, and they need viewers, so they got to keep it on TV if that's what they want. But as far as being there at a location and all these things happening, no, they're doing exactly the same thing we are. We're just sitting in the dark talking to ourselves, and then, and they're capturing these things. And, another big thing is obviously the money factor. Which what I mean by that is like, they're not having to pay to travel to all these locations and go on these, things like that. And whether
Yeah.
versus, us, we do, we have to, we've had to pay for our travel. We don't have sponsors or anything like that. So um, we don't have a network backing our stuff financially, which is a big difference because we love to go all these places all over the world and all over the country, and
Right?
we try as best we can, but again, it's out of pocket. We have to pay for it. But that's another thing. They don't have to pay expenses, and that actually matters. So
Not to mention the time it takes to review. It's like I was telling everybody but on a
yeah,
different show. It's like, come on, where I'm sitting here years behind on my review because it's just me reviewing. And, I'm
right.
doing everything like the podcast and I'm doing, oh, hang on just a second. Sorry. Somebody just followed. Um, but whenever I do the podcast and I'm trying to research and all that for the podcast and then everything else, I don't have all the time in the world because I also work. I'm also a mom and I'm a wife.
Right.
So I don't have all the time in the world to be able to do research. But when I do, I'll bring it out. Yeah, I might have been this place 10 years ago, but hey, here's some of the evidence that I found
Mhm.
recently. But you have the networks
Yeah.
that actually have tons of people they've hired to actually do the review and come back and
Right.
make a video. So,
Yeah, this is exactly what happens. And they make a show out of it, and then like you said, it's just we're doing it ourselves. And when I do things like this, or like you reach out to me about being on the show, or I don't have I don't have an agent or anything like that that books things for me. I do it myself. So that in itself takes a lot of time. So
yes, it does.
you know, when we're doing interviews or we're doing speaking engagements or paracons or whatever we're doing, we're all scheduling that ourselves, and sometimes that can be kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah. Be crazy and pricey because we're paying for booths, we're paying for hotel rooms, we're paying for the trip there. So, yeah, I understand completely. So,
Yeah, unless
go
you're
ahead.
one of the featured guests. Unless you're one of the featured guests at somewhere that's going to be there. That's why people are coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually you are having to pay for your hotel rooms and things like that. So
Yeah. Last year was the first time I was ever invited and my trip was paid for. And I was like, oh, wow, this is this is nice. Thank you for, the
yeah,
honor. of me
Right.
being here because it was, you don't realize what an honor it is to be brought on until you are brought on as a guest, and they make you feel so great. It's awesome. It's wonderful.
Yeah. No, exactly. It is cool that you know that you get recognized for that kind of stuff, and then yeah, like I said, people are coming to see you, whether it's stuff like what we do as far as Not Carry Collective, or what I do outside of that as far as books and things like that. So
Speaking of books, so we have your book, The Gates of Hell and the Demons That Protect It. What got you into writing this book?
wow, yeah, I'm super excited about this. And it's taken it's taken me 4 years to actually write it because of scheduling things like that.
Mhm.
So it's a long process, and it's the story within the book actually begins when I was a little kid. It starts at this location. It's outside of I don't actually tell the location exactly where it's at because privacy reasons, but
Right.
it is located outside of Sallisaw, Oklahoma. It took place there. It's that old cemetery there that's everybody since I've known it, and then way back when, 1607, they always called it the Gates of Hell, and old cemetery out there on the river. But it's a place where a lot of uh, devil worshippers would do their rituals, and it
Oh
was huge
God.
back then. Yeah, for all that kind of crazy stuff. So as far as I know, now, I mean that the activity continues there. Um, it's a little more secretive than it used to be. Um, but it starts with my mom and her best friend taking us out there because they always heard about this place and they wanted to go out there, and we experienced some stuff while we were there. When I
Oh.
was a little kid, so it always burned itself in my mind about what I saw there. There's a group of 8 to 9 guys walking across this field wearing black robes, and they had torches going towards the graveyard. And then, of course, my mom and her friend just freaked out, you know. And then
Right?
that's just we took off and then left the area. But you fast forward from that to being a teenager in high school and everybody kind of talking about it, and it was more of a dare you to go out there kind of thing, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. 'Cause, everybody's always heard about this place. And then I've gone out there a couple times, being a teenager, but always during the day. I never went out there at night, and then never by myself. But just curious teenagers doing dumb stuff. Um, but you go from there to about when I was 22-ish, somewhere around there. My friends and I, two of my other friends, wanted to go out there. They're just kind of give me crap about you know not wanting to go out there. It's like I know what happens out there, and I don't want any part of it. They wanted to go at nighttime. This is around Halloween.
Oh my Lord.
Um, yeah, it's back in 2003 when that actually happened. So they convinced me after a while to finally go out there with them, and it just happened to be. It's so crazy that it happened to be a circumstance, but it was a full moon, so that was interesting.
Oh my
Uh,
Lord.
yeah,
You
that
picked a
already
great
added to.
time to go out there.
I know, I know. So that added to the real creepiness of it. And then, well, one of the legends to this place, there's a satanic church in the woods out there. There's a cemetery. There's this big pasture that's flat, that's open, and there's a wood line that goes out to the woods. And then sometimes you can see this church, and sometimes you can't, supposedly. So like we get to the location, and that wasn't good enough for them. So there's like, let's go see if we can find this church.
Oh
And this
great.
was 2 in the morning at this point. So and then we're just like, okay, I'm not going to chicken out. They're going to go. So uh, we went out there across the field, went across the end of the woods, trying to locate this church and being stupid. And then we come across this area where there was this our flashlights that we were using uh, hit something these eyes were staring back at us about 2 feet off the ground. So I'm like, it's just a little animal, no big deal, right?
Sure.
And then well, I didn't really notice these eyes were like 3 feet apart from each other. I mean, they're pretty wide. And I was like, yeah, I
Oh.
don't know what that could be. But our flashlights were shining right where it was, and then whatever it wasn't. You couldn't see the actual body of it. It was just blacker than black. So I thought that was kind of strange. And then we noticed that there was two other sets of eyes on the side of it. So there was one in the middle and two on both sides. And then they were about 2 feet off the ground. And then
Oh.
and then they raised up. And when they raised up, they were about 13 feet off the ground.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
What?
that's, yeah, that scared the shit out of us, obviously.
Right?
Um, so we take off running, and then it was my buddy and now his wife, and then we're running across this field, and then you can hear whatever it was, they were running with us on both sides of us, and then
Oh.
like surrounding us, but you couldn't see them. You couldn't see them. So
Oh
uh,
no.
we get back to the cemetery, and then when we're crossing this fence to get back in the cemetery, we noticed there was one standing in the graveyard between us and our truck.
Oh
So
God.
we're like, oh shit! But we didn't know what the other two were. Couldn't see them. I don't know what they were, but we knew we were there because we could hear them running. And then we went back around the cemetery. There's this road that goes right back around the cemetery, right next to the water. And then to get back to the truck, and then one of the cemeteries just stood there and then just stared at us the entire time. And then we got back in the truck and was bored and got the hell out of there. But that's that is the basis of the story of the book. There's some other stuff added in there and everything, but I don't know if you have a picture of it or anything, but that's what it looks like. Um,
I highly suggest y'all
that's
get
the,
this book, guys.
that's the
Very well
cover.
written.
Um, it's it's on Amazon, so right now. Um, yeah, it's pretty intense. It's not very long. I mean, it's only like 308 pages long, something like that. There is a that was the hardcover version, and I do have a paperback version out there too, if anybody likes paperback versus the hardback cover. But to me, I like the
I'm a
hardback
geek. I like
cover
the
better.
hardback. Yeah. If I can get the hardback, I'll
Yeah,
get the hardback.
that's what I like it. And I like the weight of it better and everything. I'm just
Yeah.
nice. But,
And just to know that it's
so it's
sturdy and it's
in
gonna last a
right.
little
Yeah, for
longer.
sure. Yeah. And somebody reads a lot. You could read this in a day. It's not very long, but yeah, it is pretty crazy. It is based on all a true story. So
Well,
um,
for you to have
if you
experienced it, holy cow, shit. Uh-uh.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And there's a lot of
yeah,
places
and
around
then
Oklahoma that's scary as hell.
I mean, it's true. There are, and especially with all the Native American stuff around this area. There's a bunch of stuff you don't really want to mess with, but yeah,
Oh my gosh. Wow.
yeah,
So
it is pretty intense. It's scary, and I hope it scares the shit out of you if you get it.
so
So,
buy it so he can know
right,
you
right,
scared he scared the shit out of you guys. Y'all gotta buy
right.
it. So you wrote that, but didn't you write another book too? Like a children's
I
book?
did. I wrote a children's book. It's called The Little Ghostly Ghost.
It is
Um,
absolutely
it's
adorable.
it's on Amazon as well. Uh, it's you should be able to find it if you look up my book there or just my name. It
Yep.
comes up, I think.
If you look up his
Yeah,
name, you'll be able to see the cute little the cute little book. It is adorable. I
yeah, it's just a
actually
little
got to
story
see
that
it.
I love it. It's a little story that rhymes. It's not scary. It just kind of introduces kids to what we do in a non-scary way, in a fun way. And then it's got some pictures of after the story. You got some pictures of us doing our thing. Just some pictures. It's a couple of pictures of different apparitions and stuff we've caught over the years. So it's pretty cool.
So when it comes to children, what do you think about them being part of a paranormal investigation? What's the age range you think a child should be involved?
Well, if they're wanting to be involved in it like voluntarily, I say me, I would suggest 16 to 18,
Mm-hmm.
something like that, so you can better understand what you're getting yourself into. And also, I mean, if that's going to happen, then your parents are going to be there. One parent at least will be
Yes.
there, um,
Yes.
and that kind of thing. But it's funny, like when kids are involved in stuff, we try to react as fast as we can as far as them needing help or whatever they're coming to us for help, because we
Yeah.
don't want to waste any time with that. But I think kids experience things a lot more than adults do because they're still closer to the other side than we are.
We're innocent.
You right? So they do experience a lot more, and then I think that's why they're just able to communicate and see things uh, that we can't. So you
Yeah.
know,
There's been a couple of child cases that have been very concerning for me because the parents were probably doing something they weren't supposed to, like with a Ouija board or
mm,
something, while the child is in the
right,
house. And it's like, guys, you don't seem to understand. You can't do that around your
yeah,
kids.
right. And there is people that go into it with those kind of things like that, and think, oh, it's just a game and ain't really gonna do anything, or we're just
Right?
messing with each other or something. It's like, yeah, then it does open a doorway to whatever. You never know what's gonna go through
Hmm.
the door.
Yep. You have no clue. It's like anything with the paranormal. Don't go into it without doing the research you really need to do to to do things. Like you said, whenever you go to a location, do the research on it so you know how to protect yourself and make yourself protected after as well. Because there are things out
Right.
there that you do not want attached to you.
That's
Now,
absolutely true. And then we have like I said, we do our protection prayers and stuff like that. And we have holy water and things we use. But
nice. Do you get the holy
um,
water from like a
you know,
local church, or do you order it from someone?
actually, we have somebody that's a witch that does it.
Oh,
And then
nice.
she actually has her own cult shop, and then we get it from there. So,
Oh, sweet. Nice. I've actually been fortunate enough. There's a local Catholic church right down the road from me. I went down there one time and asked them, I have this situation going on. I would like to know if I can get some holy water from you guys. They directed us straight to where the holy water was and said we can get as much as we want and come back anytime. So I was really shocked that they
that's
were letting me do that.
that's
It's-
awesome. What's cool too is like they didn't look like you like you're crazy. Like yeah,
Exactly. They
yeah,
didn't. I
yeah.
mean, look at me. I'm wearing different color hair and piercings and tattoos, and I'm going up in this church. Sorry to bother you.
Exactly. And that brings me to something else too. Is like when we feel like we're dealing with something that we can't handle, as far as like demonic things like that, the best thing to do is pass that information along to somebody who does have more experience. Because one thing you want to do is never pretend you know something about something you don't, and that can just make it way worse
Yes.
on you and whoever you're dealing with there. But fortunately, we have some people that we do direct those things towards that can handle it. So
Oh yeah, same. If I have something that I cannot deal with, I go to Casey Scruggs or I go to Rich Valdez because I don't do that. I haven't learned enough to do anything like that, and honestly, I don't have the time to really delve into stuff like that.
right,
But I
yeah,
at least have your
there's
backups.
yeah, that's the greatest thing is like just being able to make that decision that you're messing with something that you don't understand, and you're not like hot headed, or you're not like trying to act like you're somebody you're not. Like I can deal with
Right.
that. It's like no, you can't. So as long as you're
Nope.
smart enough to realize that,
Yeah.
and then yeah, back off. That's cool. But some people aren't, and they get in trouble. So
Exactly. And then half the time people don't realize that they are being messed with that way and they don't do the things they need to do to
mhm.
get the help they need because they don't want to seem crazy.
Yeah,
It's like, come on,
that's true.
guys. Look into it. There are people out there like us that will not think you're crazy. Um, but
Yeah, no.
going back into your Night Terror Collective, what is your role in Night Terror? Did you create the team or?
Yeah, actually, I found it in 2018. I put out like a casting call, I guess you would call it.
Mm.
Just to see who was like-minded, who was interested, and if they are, just meet at this place, this coffee shop, and then people that showed up, I interviewed, and Rosie, it's funny because her I've known for years before this, so it was just a natural fit. But like other people, we had two other original members, and they since passed away, both of them. So uh,
Oh my gosh, I'm
uh,
sorry.
so yeah, it sucks, but we moved on and kept doing our thing with just the two of us, and it seems to work out just fine. So
Do they still hang out and come around from time to time?
I think they do with her. So
Yeah.
they don't really with me, but I think they do her. And then she's dealt with it a couple of different times, I think. So,
Oh, see, that's amazing. So are you gonna
yeah, nothing.
expand more or
I don't know if we will in the future. I think it
you're just
might be
happy with the two?
possible. Yeah, I am, but at the same time, it kind of sucks scheduling wise because she is also in the military, so she's in the
She's
Navy,
currently in the
and then
military?
yeah, yeah.
Ah, thank her for
So
her service.
I will do that.
Thank you.
But she's in the Navy, and then her schedule with the military um, comes
Yeah.
first for her, obviously. And so
Uh,
it kind of does suck scheduling things sometimes because of that. But
yeah.
um, we have to work around that schedule, and then
Totally
and
understand.
it does kind of suck. But I get it. It was cool, but that way. But if there's other, I feel like maybe if we had a couple other members too, we can do things still while she was doing her military stuff. So,
Yeah. Oh gosh, her being in the military,
but
that's gonna be a weight on her gift.
yeah, yeah, and then it is, and then I actually think she just re-enlisted like a couple of months back now, so she's been doing it for a long time, and then again, that's kind of uh,
She's a
hindered us a
lifer.
little bit on things we can and can't do, but yeah, yeah, for sure, she's a
Hmm.
lifer, and I think it's cool. So I'm not, you know, I'm not upset about that or anything, but I think again, if I did have a couple more members, we could do things while she was gone, and it'd be okay.
Right.
Um, and then we do collabs with other teams and stuff sometimes, and of course different paracons and things like that we're scheduled at. But yeah, we still do it. We still get it. We still get it done. We still help people when they reach out. So doesn't
That's
really stop
awesome.
us.
Well, now you're also involved in a haunted tours, aren't you?
Well, we worked for a company out of the UK.
Mm-hmm.
We do their stuff every once in a while, um, and then that keeps us busy with that. So we get paid to do that. So
Oh,
that
nice.
we host events for them, and then people come in and get to do things with experienced paranormal investigators, and it's not just a bunch of newbies that know what they're talking about. But you know, the thing about new people getting into the field, we love it. I mean, we love them doing their own thing, and then they ask us for advice a lot. But the thing about when you get to the point where you can do those kind of things, you have to be somewhat knowledgeable of what's
Yeah,
going on because you're leading a bunch of people, 30 to 60 people at a time. They look to you for how things go. So
exactly. Exactly. So what is your
um,
go ahead.
no, I was gonna
Oh.
say that, but yeah, because we're not as far as myself. I don't like to be labeled as a paranormal expert. I don't
Oh
think
yeah.
there's
Nobody's an
I
expert in
don't
this field.
I don't think I don't think there's such a thing. So when we're doing interviews or for newspapers and magazines or whatever it is, and that comes up,
Oh my god.
it does a
Yeah,
lot.
it
Like
does.
but I know. no, I don't want to be sound like an asshole, but you need to change that because everybody's constantly learning and adapting. So
Yeah.
there are no experts. The people on TV doing what we do, the same thing. They're not
They're
experts.
not
There is no
expert.
expert.
No. There
Yeah, and
there's no way you could
and then
possibly be an expert in this field, really.
right, right.
You can
So
be, what's the word I'm looking for?
well, what we describe ourselves as we're very experienced and seasoned investigators,
Seasoned.
but
There you go.
but
That's a good
but
word for it.
but not experts. No, we don't like that at all. At least I don't. So
Well, gosh, I know somebody that's been in it for over 40 years and he refuses to be called an expert. So it's
yeah,
like, yeah, I can understand because we're constantly learning. We're constantly seeing new things and new ways to evolve and everything else. So,
right.
yeah, nobody's an
Yeah,
expert in this.
and sometimes it doesn't matter the argument that I make about it. The producers or whatever we're involved in, sometimes they change it, and that's not up to me.
Yeah.
And then that's the way they label things, and then I do not like it at all. So
Right. I've even heard like news broadcasts when it comes to conventions and they're talking about the conventions. They're like, paranormal experts say that da 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 da.
yeah,
No.
yeah,
No,
yeah,
why? Why? There's no experts in this. No, none.
no,
So
no,
yeah.
not at all. And then, so I just any chance I get to talk about that publicly about not being labeled an expert, I'll try to take it. So just use that last couple minutes to say that. So
I do like seasoned though. I do like seasoned because whenever you've been doing it for a long ass time, I mean, look at the ones that have been in for 40 years. Yeah, they're seasoned. They've been doing this for
right,
a long ass time. I've been doing it for a little over a decade. You've been doing it for quite a while now. So, I
right, and then
mean,
we've run into lots of different situations and things, but that still doesn't make us an expert. And we're just we're learning like
no.
everybody else.
No, like the guy
Yeah,
that's been in for 40 years can learn something from you. I can learn something from you. I can learn something from somebody that's only been doing it for 8 months if they've got something that's seems pretty awesome. We're all learning together, and it's
right.
awesome if we could have a paranormal unity where we can come together and actually learn from each other instead of trying to
Yeah,
backstab each other to go one up just to get a little bit of green in your pocket. That's not how this world should be. We should always have each other back. It should be a
yeah.
family.
That's exactly how it should be, but unfortunately, it's not. And I'm sure you ran into it. I have
Oh,
before too, but
yeah.
yeah, it's kind of funny. Like you just said, we can take different things and learn from each other. We were doing this investigation at this location one time, and we were doing it with Brian Murray and Rochelle Stratton from Ghost Hunters,
Mhm.
and we're doing the Estes method. Me and Rosie are in this room just doing our own thing, and then Rochelle comes up there. It's like, oh, that's cool. You are doing that. It's like, yeah, no, we do this a lot. She goes, yeah, it's nice to see other people doing the Estes method. And we were both like, what the hell are you talking about? What's the Estes
What's the
method?
Estes
And
method,
we're
right?
like, what y'all are doing right now? Yeah. I was like, I had no idea that it was called something because we were doing it because we found just doing stuff ourselves that worked. We had no
Yeah.
idea that that's what it was called or people were doing it. Yeah. So, and man, we're all just in this place just laughing our asses off because it's like they're like, I can't believe you know. Like, no, we had no idea that's what that was. He goes, yeah, that's exactly what it was. And then, of course, we do more research into that and why it's called the Estes method and what where it came from. And then
Mhm.
we had no idea. It's like we've been doing this for a long time. It's one of our featured things, and thought that hey, this works for us. This is what we're gonna do. And then had no idea that it was an actual thing out in the world. So
Now, are y'all in
like,
the
oh,
same room
oh,
when
that's
you do
cool.
it, or do you go into different rooms?
We're in the same room. We whether it's by ourselves or if we're leading a group or something, we'll kind of explain how it is and give an example and show them how it's done. So whether it's using the equipment the right way or the right way to do the method. Um, so most likely we're in the same room, but we have done it. We have done it at a place it's called the Fee House in Lower Arkansas. Uh, we did it a few different locations throughout the place, locations throughout that house in separate rooms. So
Oh,
we're just trying that out, see if that worked too. But it was interesting because we were getting great results. And then every time we seem to do the Estes method, we get great results. And then it's just kind of become one of our staple things that people are like, man, I can't wait till I'll do that because Rosie gets all kinds of reactions. So
Right.
and
We're gonna
so it's
try
pretty cool. I
this
think
cool little thing. Amok is we're gonna go to like two different hotel or not hotels. I think they are hotels. Two different hotels in an hour away from each other, and we're gonna try doing something like that between both hotels to see if we can get something going. So it's gonna be pretty interesting. Be
that
like,
would be pretty cool. Yeah.
yep. We're gonna see what we can come up with and what we can find out. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Might not do it this year, but we'll
Yeah.
end up doing it.
Yeah.
Well,
That'd be cool. That'd be a cool experience.
yeah, well,
You know?
well, Jason, tell everybody where they can find you, what conventions you're going to be going to this coming up year, and anything else you want to tell anybody.
Yeah, for sure. So what's cool about what we do when we do an investigation is that we do all of our stuff live. We'll go live on Facebook. We'll go live on TikTok. Something like that, be either on our page or my personal page, something like that. But it's all done live in real time, so everybody can see what we're seeing at the same time. So that way, we're not filming something and people are accusing us of editing it or whatever.
Right.
So things are done in real time, so everybody can see stuff, and then other people watching it can maybe see something that we don't see and point it out. So that's pretty cool. That happens a lot.
Yes.
Um, but yeah, Facebook, Night Terror Collective. You can look up me, Jason Walker, and just follow me on my personal page also, and then TikTok, same name, Night Terror Collective. Um, we have a seems like we have a bigger following on TikTok right now, but
Right.
um, you know, so we will be at the Oklahoma Paracon coming up. I don't know the dates exactly yet. We'll be at we're doing an investigation on the 17th at the old jail in Greenwood, Arkansas. It's pretty cool. So we'll go live then and do some
Nice.
stuff, and then these interviews, podcast interviews or magazines, stuff like that. Just watch out for us to post it on our page, and then anytime you share something about it, we'll share it. So that kind of stuff. For sure, just look up Not Terror Collective on all the social media and you can find us. But again, it's cool if you watch our lives because it's all done in real time. So.
That's awesome to see the lives go. I mean, that's what I started doing last year too, is starting to go live with all the interviews or not interviews, investigations, because you've got people from overseas that can't make it to
Yeah,
some of the locations here. So you guys going
right.
live really helps and benefits for others that are very interested in going, and you even got those that are sick that can't get out and do things. So the only way they have
Yeah,
it is to do that. So kudos to you
right.
guys for doing that and going live for peeps, because that's
Yeah,
actually pretty amazing.
exactly. We get good feedback from it. The last time we were doing a live, Rosie was doing the Ethos method, and I was filming it, and people kept freaking out on there, talking about why are we watching the kidnap victim? What is going on?
Oh my god.
Because like in between time, like of me explaining what's happening, they were just tuning in. So all you're seeing is this girl in a blindfold and the headphones, and they don't know, sitting in the dark. So
Like, just wait, listen, watch a little
yeah,
bit. What's going on?
yeah, it was pretty entertaining. It was funny.
Well, Jason, thank you so much for being on the show. Don't go anywhere. Those that are watching, tune in next week. Oh, wait, when is Mother's Day? That's not next. No, it's the week after. Next week is going to be Tori from the Sleeper Mortuary. Have you heard of that place yet?
Sleeper Mortuary, where's that at?
It's in like an hour away from Caney.
Ooh, that sounds
Yeah.
interesting.
You'll have to look into that because do you know who Stephanie O'Reilly is from the McIntyre Villa?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so it's her friend that owns the Sleeper Mortuary.
Oh
We're
wow,
actually going there in October, so look it up. I think you'll find it very interesting. But
that's
she's going
cool.
to be
Yeah,
on next week, and we're going to talk more about the Sleeper Mortuary and how she came about to own the place. And then after that is Mother's Day, so don't expect me on there at all. But tune in. Thank you guys for watching. Stay free, stay safe. Always do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And until next time, guys, see you guys later. Bye, y'all.
Switch it on and come along. Haunted houses all night long. Gaming streams and ghostly scenes. Just chatting with the in-betweens. IRL, she's on the case. Finding spirits in each place. Every game she plays with flair. G.E.E.K.S, paranormal, she's there. Ghosts and games all night. G.E.E.K.S paranormal's bright. Just chatting feels so right. Trying to stream, it's quite a sight. From the haunted house she flies, gaining worlds under the skies. Chat and laugh, let's have a blast. G.E.E.K.S paranormal here at last. Ghosts and games all night. G.E.E.K.S paranormal's bright. Just chatting feels so right. Trying to stream, it's quite a sight. From the haunted house she flies, gaining worlds under the skies. Chat and laugh, let's have a blast. G.E.E.K.S paranormal here at last. Ghosts and games all night. G.E.E.K.S paranormal's bright. Just chatting feels so right. Trying to stream, it's quite a sight. In the dark she finds the light. Streams of fun, she's out of sight. Every ghost and gaming fight. G.E.E.K.S paranormal shines so bright.